Well, hello, and welcome. There we go. Can you see me? Am I all right? Am I in? Am I on? Cool. Able to acquire a working copy of Dominion, the prequel to The Exorcist. And, you know, every so often, there's certain movies or films or topics that grab my attention and I have something to say about them. So I might as well, talk about this film. The beginning is the other film that was made. That was the one that went to the movie theater. This is the one that went directly to DVD, so to speak, or direct to video. Was not released in theaters, almost didn't get completed, and is sort of considered the bastard child or bastard prequel of both of the Exorcist films that came out. And that being said, it's crazy that two films got made. It just really shows the power of the Exorcist brand, and the fact that literally there was a script and a director, and then a director passed away, and then Paul Schrader came in, and then the studio and the execs and producers didn't like what he did, and then they brought in, I think, another guy, and then he didn't really do too well. And honestly, from my opinion, both of them are absolutely garbage. But this one is the better one. It's the lesser of two evils, so to speak. This gentleman, Skarsgård, Stellan Skarsgård, he was in both versions, so that helped move the story along. This one had a lot more story, had a lot more dialogue, which was a good thing and a bad thing. It helped to explain the story, move it forward, and connect it a lot better. I felt more for his character in this version. The opening scene was brilliant, but basically just doing a quick rundown of both films. The other one is just the bigger budgeted one, and it hurts it. There's a ridiculous Hollywood ending, which I talked about before, and it ruins the film because it's more of a slower moving film. It's more of a build-up story, some scares, creepy images, religion. It's supposed to be more of a thinking kind of man's horror film, or woman. But the sequels, the second one and the third one, started going off in this direction of like bigger budget, more scares, more blood, more in-your-face gore. And by the time these films came about in 2005, it really changed the formula, and you could tell. I mean, a lot of horror sequels and movies that came out in the late 90s to early 2000s were just really like big and like in your face and just craziness and zaniness, and it hurt. That mentality hurts films like this, because a movie like this could have been done a lot better. This one was the better of the two as far as story and build-up goes, but it still suffers from slow-moving dialogue, slow-moving scenes, way too much build-up, way too much explanation in certain scenes when they didn't need it. The effects were absolutely garbage. The CGI is actually worse in this one. It's really bad, and the CGI is pretty bad in the other one as well. Not to mention CGI overall was awful in the 2000s. So, but it really stands out in this one and takes you out of the film. Another guy, I forget his name, but he is also in both versions. This gentleman right here, he plays the young priest in this one. I thought he did a better job than the guy in the other version. However, the priest plays a bigger role in this film, or the secondary priest, so to speak, than in the other film. The boys in this one are secondary or almost tertiary characters, which I like that because they didn't fit in well in the Exorcist the beginning. They actually fit in a lot better here, so to speak. Set design was actually a lot better in this one. A lot of it was reused, so it was kind of the same stuff. But keep in mind that this one was filmed first, and then they made Exorcist the beginning. This one showed more of the sets, showed more of the artwork, showed more of the costumes, more of the design, more of the African tribes, and I thought that was cool. They also explained the military a lot more in this one, which made for a decent storyline, but still kind of unnecessary, at least I thought. It really kept taking away from the film. And it was because of things like that. It just didn't really feel like an Exorcist movie, and it didn't really feel like an Exorcist prequel. Some parts, this felt like more of a prequel than the other one. But once again, like I said, that's not really, not really saying much. The love interest, sort of, slash nurse was played by a different actress in this one. They both did okay jobs. I thought she did a little bit of a better job, but the death scenes in this one aren't as brutal. The other one, they're a lot more gorier, a lot more bloody, they're a lot more visceral. I think Ronnie Yu was the guy who directed the other one. I could be wrong. But if that's his style of filming, he tends to do that with his films. So I like that it wasn't super gory, because none of the Exorcist films have ever really been gory. They've been like slightly bloody, more like gross factor, but this one fit the formula of the series better. But like I said, it still felt rushed towards the end because they just didn't really know what to do with it. This ending, I guess, was better than the ending in the beginning. The character who gets possessed in this one was a lot more believable. The character who gets possessed in the other one, there's two different characters that get possessed. It didn't do it for me. This one was better, but still really just too over the top, too ridiculous. But not as over the top as the Exorcist the beginning ending, with like the demon flying around, and it was nuts. It was like something out of a Kill Bill movie or something. So it's a tough series to make sequels for, to be honest with you. I give credit to filmmakers who tackle the Exorcist series, because the original one is like as good as it gets. I mean, slasher movies, yeah, I can see sequels happening. Certain monster movies, certain end of the world type movies, or movies about aliens and stuff, like I could see sequels potentially being set up or being made, but it's tough to do a sequel to a movie like The Exorcist because it's such a standalone film. But I still give credit, because the third one is just excellent. The second one's not a bad one either, but it's just, one of those film series that will forever be plagued or cursed, because it's almost impossible to make a really good sequel, and in this case a prequel. And two of them were made, and both of them pretty much fell flat, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that the original director passed away, and it was also, the script was put in different writers' hands, so that didn't really help out a whole lot either. But it's just an interesting piece of movie history, because not many movies have the same main character and some of the same actors reprise their roles from film to film. And to see the film edited in two different ways, and to see different scenes being extended or condensed, was really interesting. It was sort of a cool trip through, like I said, learning a little bit, because I know some things about movie making. It was pretty neat to see how one director treated this film versus another director treating the other one, and then additional scenes that got added or scenes that got deleted. And it really can change the tone of the film, the look of the film, feeling of the film, and so forth. So I got nothing else for you. That's it. So I'm Jazzy Jeff, as always, thanks for watching. Hope I didn't bore you too much. And just, stay tuned and check out for any other videos that I might be posting. So thanks again, and have yourself a lovely rest of your day, okay?